let's create a bubble chart or a competitors map. If we will lay up the original table, it'll be a lot easier. We don't have to use like fancy fills and things like that. But if we lay it up with all the information that we need, it'll be a lot easier for us to create this. So we're going to call this ABC companies company competitor map. Okay. Now, as we know, the competitor map is made up of three of the KSF factors. So I'm using the example in the book to create this. One of the most important things is the quality of pets. So I'm going to put quality in here. Another thing that is really important is our selection. And finally, one of the things that's going to be important to us is our financial resources. Okay, so this is the X, Y, and Z axis. And then down the line, we're going to put in the names of our companies, ABC Pet Store, the industry. It doesn't matter which order you put these in, mom and pop, because that's not how they're going to show up. And pets are us. Okay, now I'm going to just widen this column by lining up between here and double clicking. And then I'm going to fill in these numbers. Quality is 8, 6, 4, and 7. Selection is 5, 5, 5, 8. And financial resources 4, 5, 5, 10. Okay, so we've created our map. And this is what we're going to do. Just highlight the numbers. Go to Insert, Other Charts, Bubble, and the 3D is always the cool looking one. And then what we're going to do is make this big enough that we can actually work with it here and see what's going on. Let's do the simple stuff first. Let's get rid of the legend. Let's get rid of these lines. We don't care about those. All right. Now, we want to make our axis so that these bubbles are not way scrooched over there on the right side. So let's reset our axis so that it starts with 3 instead of with 0. So all I have to do is I have two things I can do. I can right click and go to Format Axis, and I will say I want my minimum to be 3 and tell it to close. Okay, so now I'm starting to see something a little better. On the other side, I would like it also to start with 3. So I can double click as well to open that. Okay, see there's two different ways that you can get to this. Another way is to go to Layout and go to Axes. Okay, so we'll do that. We want the vertical axis. And we're going to go to More Options. Okay, and the thing is we don't want these numbers. What we want is high and low. So I'm going to tell this thing I don't want any tick marks and I don't want any numbers. Okay, and I'm going to do that on both of these. I want no tick marks and I want no numbers. Okay. Now what I do want to do is, before I start doing the handwritten text, is I want to add my chart title, and I'm going to just do this above the chart, and all I have to do is type in equals and click on the name of the chart, and I also want to put in my axis titles. Okay, so I want this one below, and if you remember, this is the X, so that's quality. Just type in equals quality, and again for the vertical axis, and I want mine to rotate. I like like the side ones to be that way, equals selection. All right, so now this is starting to look pretty sharp. But we don't know what selection is, high, low, low, high. So let's give ourselves a little bit of room to work here. Okay, and if we want, we can click here, go home, and make this bigger. Okay, don't have to highlight it, just select it. All right, now the next thing we want to do is write high and low and low and high. So I'm going to go to layout and I'm going to get a text box and I'm going to type high. And I'm going to stick that right here. And then I'm going to get a text box. I'm going to type low. And then, because I'm lazy, I'm going to right click, copy, and paste. And, nope, didn't paste. There it is. Low. Oh, pasted way up there both times. I don't need it both times. Yeah, we'll just put the high one over there. Okay. Now, the one other thing that we want to do is we need to know who these guys are. So I'm going to just click on all of these. I'm going to go to layout and tell it to give me data labels. And I can put them on the right or the left. It doesn't matter. In this case, putting them on the left would probably be good. Okay, now the problem is I don't want these numbers. Okay, I don't want these numbers. But I don't know who this is. So I look at series 1.4. Okay, that's, and then I can see where it says 4, 5, size 5. So I can look over here and say 4, 5, size 5. Okay, so that must be mom and pop. So I'm going to click once in here and then click once more to just get this one. And I'm going to put in here equals mom and pop. And then I can look at this one and it's 655, which is the industry. So I will click in here once, equal industry. And the reason that I do this instead of just typing it in is in case I maybe got them backward or something. Okay, last, or next to last, this is us, equals ABC Pet Store. And finally, Pets R Us. Okay. Now, the really cool thing about this is if I change my mind about something. Let's say that we decide that Pets R Us really isn't very good. So you bring that down to a 4. And maybe the mom and pop financials aren't as good as we thought. And maybe the industry's financials are better than we thought. And maybe our selection is really good. Okay, so you can see by changing this, it automatically changes it. And likewise, if I change the name to We Are Pets, okay, it'll change the name automatically. All right, so the next thing we want to do is take ours and pull it apart somehow and make it more stand out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change our name to bold and 12 so you can really see us. And then I'm going to click once and then click once again. And if I right click, I can get a fill thing. Okay. And I can pick a color that's going to make us stand out. And again, I would use colors here that have to do with our theme. Mostly we're using a dark blue. Now, if you happen to have a copy of the logo, if you wanted to do something really kind of fun, what you can do is use your pull down menu and go to picture. Okay, and there's our logo right there, and we can insert that. So now we know who we are. It's very obvious. You can do that for any of these if you'd like. But that's just one fun thing that you can do to make you stand out. We can just make it back to red. And that's really all there is to creating a bubble chart.